By the late 1980s, Washington's policy changed. Dictators like Pinochet were seen as an unnecessary embarrassment. A new and innovative way of controlling nations was launched.
Good morning and welcome. It's good to have you all here to help celebrate the launching of a program with a vision and a noble purpose. The National Endowment for Democracy is, just as we've been told, more than bipartisan. The establishment of the National Endowment goes right to the heart of America's faith in democratic ideals and institutions. It offers hope to people everywhere.
Like any new brand, it had a snappy name: democracy. It was largely fake, an illusion of marketing and spin. This brand of democracy meant that whoever you voted for, the policies would be broadly the same, and your country's economy would be in step with the United States. Washington would be your closest friend, or else. In the 1990s, these democracies in name replaced dictatorships in Latin America, with Chile providing the model. This is the commercial center of Santiago, Chile. On the surface today, everything seems normal, modern, prosperous. To the Bush administration, Chile is the very model of economic success. A laboratory experiment, according to the magazine Business Week. Much of life has been privatized. There are now billionaires, and the rich are getting richer.
Pinochet fixed the country.
Who says? The United States says.
No. The World Bank says, the Inter-American Bank says, everybody says it. He brought about an economic miracle in Chile. And I'm saying he had the brains for it, but he had the brains to hire all these people, Chileans, who had studied at the University of Chicago, who knew something about real economics.
Real economics were advocated by Milton Friedman, an extreme right-wing economist at the University of Chicago. Friedman was invited to perform his laboratory experiment on the economic life of Chile. The families of the tortured and disappeared were silent witnesses. Without irony, he called his experiment shock treatment.
Please be seated. Well, thank you all very much. It's an honor for me to be here to pay tribute to a hero of freedom, Milton Friedman. He has used a brilliant mind to advance a moral vision. We have seen Milton Friedman's ideas at work in Chile, where a group of economists called the Chicago Boys brought inflation under control and laid the groundwork for economic success.
This is the other side of the economic miracle. Chile today is a deeply unequal society. This shanty town is just minutes from Santiago's smart hotels.
Hay tantos cesantes, hay miles de cesantes, los jóvenes, y el que trabaja no alcanza para nada. ¿Y con qué paga la luz? ¿Con qué paga el agua? Hay que comprar el gas, todas las cosas que hay que comprar. Diariamente la mamá dice, ¿qué hago para la comida de los niños? ¿De dónde saco dinero?
We found this couple living and freezing in the shanty town. They're homeless and have a week-old baby.
Si usted puede describir un poco cómo es vivir en estas condiciones.
Para empezar, el frío en la noche.
Difícil.
El frío en la noche es súper difícil. Por mi guagua tuvimos que aprender la cocina.
¿Cuánta gente en Chile vive de esta manera?
En realidad,
yo creo que
mucha
gente.
Y en peores condiciones que nosotros. Pero hay gente que no simplemente no recibe ayuda porque no nomás, porque no hay ayuda.
¿A dónde se van a ir entonces?
A la calle. Vamos a dormir en la calle otra vez, pues, si hemos dormido en la
¿Ya hemos
calle.
dormido en la calle?
En el extranjero, en Europa y en Estados Unidos y en otros lugares se dice que Chile tiene una reputación como un país rico, acomodado.
Sí.
¿Qué es lo que ustedes dicen
Eso,
a eso?
Sí,
eso,
yo creo
eso
que
puede
sí.
ser, es verdad, pero
Es
para
verdad,
la gente
pero
que...
eso es para la gente
eso-
que tiene, no para nosotros.
Chile is a democracy now, in theory. A complicated voting system splits the vote and discourages real reform. It's a product of General Pinochet, based on a constitution that's also a product of Pinochet. The general may be dead, but the power of the military remains. It's all very modern, the media is safe, and many believe it's wise to be silent, like the graves of their forgotten compatriots. It's Washington's ideal democracy.
La dictadura tuvo un gran éxito en Chile desde el punto de vista de que estableció un modelo político, económico y social que todavía permanece hasta el día de hoy, porque en esencia no se ha cambiado la constitución que impuso la dictadura en 1980.
No, nosotros no perseguimos democracia porque esa palabra está tan manoseada que no se entiende. Aquí hay una persecución contra los pobres, y no es en Chile, en toda América Latina está pasando eso. Yo creo que la gente que estudia sabe que ese punto de seguir así va a reventar en alguna cosa eso. Yo pienso que el pueblo va a despertar y va a decir, basta, ¿hasta cuándo?
This is Bolivia, another laboratory experiment. The majority of the population of this spectacular, brutalized country, high in the Andes, have also been invisible until recently. The indigenous people, the Aymara and Quechua, carry memories of a culture and civilization and wealth long before the Spanish arrived 500 years ago. They remember how a single hill of silver underwrote the entire Spanish Empire, while they became the poorest. This is the National Congress of Bolivia. Until recently, the faces here were almost all white, the descendants of a tiny Spanish elite which plundered the nation's riches and reduced the indigenous majority to serfdom. It was a pattern of control repeated all over Latin America. The pattern has been broken in Bolivia with the rise of social justice movements of a kind never seen before, and whose democratic home is not Westminster or Washington or any other so-called model, but in the streets, the mines, the barrios, the fields. Governments that defy this popular power, this true democracy, do so at their own peril. This is El Alto, the highest city on earth, and perhaps the poorest. The occupants of this cemetery on the roof of the world are mainly children. Protected, they say, by the sacred mountain Illimani, El Alto overlooks Bolivia's capital, La Paz. Juan Delfin, a priest and a taxi driver, has lived here for most of his life.
Este es una zona Villa Ingenio, cementerio general de Villa Ingenio, de la zona norte de la ciudad del Alto. Y aquí hay una triste amargura. Hay de todo tipo que están nuestros hermanos, nuestros niños, nuestras hijas, nuestros abuelos y abuelas muertos que están simplemente enterrados. Vemos lo que está, ¿no? Hay incluso una familia, se envenenó toda la familia por falta de trabajo, por falta de economía. Primero el esposo lo envenenó a su esposa, a sus hijos, y él también se envenenó. Hay casos que hemos visto así.
When I first came to Bolivia in the 1960s, El Alto barely existed. The million people living here are peasants run off their land and miners made redundant by policies similar to those imposed in Chile. Infrastructure that didn't make a quick buck was privatized. The message was clear: sell it, strip it, or scrap it. The indigenous people were scrapped.
¿Por qué? Nos preguntamos. Si yo era rico, si soy boliviano rico y nacido, pero ¿por qué estoy pidiendo la limosna? ¿Por qué? Si teníamos mar por un lado, ¿no? Si teníamos plata, oro, todo teníamos. Entonces, ¿por qué seguimos sufriendo?
And yet the people here have held together. Their sense of identity, their community. In the year 2000, the people of Bolivia's second city, Cochabamba, fought an epic struggle to win back their most basic resource, water, from a foreign consortium dominated by the American corporation Bechtel. And they won. Three years later, in 2003, Bolivia's power brokers were about to get another shock. This is Gonzalo Sanchez de Lozada. Known as Goni, he was brought up in Washington. His English is better than his Spanish. They knew him here as El Gringo.
Yo lo veía un gordo sentado en una silla de ruedas, que es de oro, ¿no? Y soberbio. Entonces yo pienso que él era soberbio, tal vez por el poder que tenía, ¿no? Que era su riqueza.
When Goni was elected president of Bolivia in 2003, he backed a law that amounted to a fire sale of the country's resources. Almost everything was up for grabs, including Latin America's second biggest gas reserves.
De un de repente sabemos que tenemos gas y se está vendiendo al otro extranjero y tiene que ir a Estados Unidos, tan grandes, y mientras yo me estoy cocinando con leña. Entonces empieza la guerra desde ahí. Bloqueamos, manifestamos y paro hasta que nos responda.
The people of El Alto fought back, blocking the roads leading into La Paz.
Se bloquee, que no se deje, que no vuele una mosca, decían, ¿no? La gente ya salía a bloquear y no dejamos pasar las movilidades, ¿no? Pero eso se ha ido ya, ¿cómo se dice? Intensificando.
Goni's response was the traditional Latin American way. He sent in the army to crush dissent. Scores were shot dead. Many were brought to Juan Delfin's church.
Las mesas han hecho así, y estaba aquí en las mesas, y estaba aquí los cadáveres estaban aquí, entonces, y aquí es lo que incluso a los muertos hasta con clavos le sacaron las balas las sacaron, le tiraron a otro lado, Y era triste el ver aquí toda esta miseria. Todo eso era lleno aquí, puros doctores, estaba lleno, estaba aquí, ninguna gente, pero el olor era harto. ¿Cómo quedaron huérfanos? Los aguas lloraban ahí, gritaban ahí, papá, papá, papá.
Tens of thousands of people poured down into La Paz, like the people of Venezuela's barrios demanding the return of their president. They demanded their country back. If the rich and powerful of Latin America had a nightmare, this was it.
De pronto se sabía que el GON iba a renunciar. Peor con eso. Hemos agarrado como si fuera algo, un ánimo para que él se vaya. La meta era eso, para sacarlo a él. Eso era la meta.
Goni fled to the United States and is today living in a smart suburb of Washington. In October 2004, the Bolivian Congress ordered his arrest on charges of bloody massacre. George Bush has said, governments that harbour terrorists are as guilty as they are.
Pero toda esta oscuridad estamos así. El oscuro que nos ve. Toda la oscuridad.
This extraordinary mural was painted by Juan Delfin. It's a cry of freedom from an entire continent.
Todo mataron, pero nosotros defendemos este pueblo aymara con el pututo que defendemos nosotros, con la expresión de la voz, con el puño que tenemos y que manejamos nuestra bandera, que es nuestra huipala, la bandera, contra Estados Unidos. Este es Estados Unidos, la bandera de Estados Unidos. Contra eso estamos nosotros, porque ellos nos han hecho esto así. Es puño muy importante. Por eso cuando juramos, sí, esto es nuestro, y estamos así.
In 2005, the people of Bolivia took an historic step. For the first time ever, an indigenous person was voted president in a landslide. Like Chavez in Venezuela, Evo Morales offered a new democracy and a new beginning.
Quisiéramos que todos empecemos a trabajar. Se acabó las fiestas, se acabó la luna de miel, ahora es trabajo permanente para cambiar nuestra Bolivia.
Sin duda que está creciendo, se está propagando por todo el continente de América Latina, el Caribe, pero sobre todo en Sudamérica. Yo me la paso recorriendo esta América Latina desde Buenos Aires hasta Brasilia, Montevideo, La Paz, y por todos lados hay un fervor desatado, hay un fervor.
In Latin America, there's now a host of leaders offering new beginnings. Of course, history is crowded with heroes who offer new beginnings. The respectability of great power and its games and deals and plunder always beckon. If these new leaders succumb, their biggest threat may not be from Washington, but from the people on the hillsides.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there around the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes it will.
El futuro es para mis hijos, para nuestros jóvenes. Y esa lucha no es solamente de Chávez, esa lucha es nuestra. Eso que Chávez abrió, que reconoció nuestras luchas, que nosotros estamos dando con él, lo vamos a seguir dando. O sea, la lucha del imperio no es con Chávez, es con nosotros.
Llegó la hora del gran despertar. Y creo que Víctor Hugo, terminemos por ahí, yo soy muy victorugiano. Víctor Hugo escribió aquello: no hay nada tan poderoso como la idea cuya época ha llegado. El imperio americano llegó a su fin y debe imponerse en el mundo, bueno, el imperio de la ley, de la igualdad, de la justicia, de la fraternidad. Muchas gracias, John.
Perfecto.
I want
Muchas
to
gracias.
see you again.
What happened here at the National Stadium in Santiago, Chile, has a special place in the struggle for freedom and democracy throughout Latin America and the world. The vow is never again, and yet it has happened again at Guantanamo Bay and all the other secret places where imperial power, regardless of its democratic pretensions, hides and tortures its perceived enemies. The questions raised in this film are urgent. Are the lives and dreams of the ordinary people of Chile, like the people of Venezuela, like the people of Bolivia, like the people of Nicaragua, like the people of Vietnam and Iraq and Iran and Palestine, expendable, worth only a few seconds on the news if they're lucky? The answer is no. And those who see the world through the eyes of the powerful should be warned. People are rising from the tyranny and oblivion to which we in the West have consigned them. Indeed, their resistance is well underway, as this film has shown. I would say it never stopped and is unbeatable.
I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Lord, there've been times that I thought I could last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long